Hey guys, Vinny here with Say It Once Dog Training. In this video today, we're going to talk about, is it bribery or is it rewarding? Using food during your training, and when should you use the food and how should you use it? Let's take a dive in. During the learning phase, the part where you're actively teaching your dog something new, the food can be in your hand, you can lure them, you can show them what they should be doing, but once they understand it, the food is actually never allowed to be in your hand again. This is one of the most important parts of using food, is if my food is always in my hand, if I'm always saying, hey, check this out, and I'll give you this if you do the expected behavior, you're going to run into a huge problem. For instance, if my dog knows sit, but every time I ask him sit, I take out a treat first to ask him sit, that's an issue. The behavior that my dog is doing should produce the treat. The treat should not produce the behavior. Let me say that again. The issue that most people run into is they take the treat out first to ask the dog to sit or to down. Once your dog understands the behavior, the treat comes after you do it correctly. So instead of grabbing the treat and saying sit, sit, or let's say down, the dog goes down, yes, then you get a treat. Now that seems like a minor change, but it's so important. If I'm always bribing my dog with a treat first, when I go out into the real world and there's stimulus around, the stimulus will mean more than the treat. Versus, if my dog starts to learn to do the behavior, then to look up at me and get rewarded only if I do the behavior correctly, we're in business. Here's the other thing. You're going to move to what's called a variable reward system. Once my dog is good at downing, I don't give him a treat every time he goes down. Down's not hard enough. Maybe I make him do sit, down, stay, calm to get one treat, or do 5 separate downs to get a treat. I keep him guessing to understand, hey man, I got to work harder and harder for the food, but I'll give you one every now and again. So this keeps him on his toes. It keeps him working fast. The easiest way to extinguish a behavior or to get my dog to unlearn something is to treat it the same way every time. Sit, treat, sit, treat, sit, treat, sit, treat, sit. I don't want the treat anymore, screw you. But if my dog is guessing and getting excited about the reward because they don't know when it's going to come, that actually gets your dog to work faster. Because now my dog doesn't know when the treat's coming. That little bit of challenge, that little bit of game is very important. So once your dog is good, for instance, we'll go back to down. Once my dog understands that if I lure with food, I go down, lure with food, I stop luring. Now my dog starts to do the behavior. I take the treat out, starts the behavior. I take the treat out. Now he's good at it and he's efficient at it. Now I say down, good, sit, down, good, sit, down, good. Yes, treat, boom. So now I'll make my dog work for 3 or 4 reps to get one treat. And you slowly kind of wean that out until eventually they'll get 1 out of every 5 or 6, so on and so forth.